join me in welcoming her.
Aw, thank you. Aw. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hello. Thank you, everybody. I was quite nervous coming in today until I met the mayor by my car. Yes, he's knocking on my window. Hey, are you? So that was really good. And I picked your name. You saw that, right?
Just want you to feel welcome.
I did. And then I made lots of friends already. So thank you so much. This was very much expected because I had nothing but a great time since I moved here about 2.5 months ago, I would say. 1.5 months since we actually been living here. But before I get started, I figured I would also tell you I have a friend. So I want to introduce you to Mark DeLeo. He's our Vice President of Marketing at Hard Rock. Mark likes food, so I said, you want to come for lunch with me? We've been spending about 5 or 6 weeks together now, just traveling around different properties, and then also after getting settled here, meeting people like you. So it's been really a pleasure. I don't know how to explain. You'll learn a little bit about my story. And by the way, you did much better job than I could have done. I didn't know you were going to do that, so that was really good. But I have lived in a lot of different places, and many of the places I lived, they were very friendly, but this has been outstanding. I tell people I don't know how I'm going to go somewhere from here, so maybe I'll just stay, right? Who knows? So I did have a little presentation for you, so nothing too much. We have a little bit of technical issues with clickers, so I'm going to be clicking myself. And I did have a video, but we won't play it today. So maybe the next time I come around, I'll show you a video. This is my story. I know Dr. Davis already shared that with you. But I lived in many different states. I started in Florida as a housekeeper, as you heard. And then I also I lived in Missouri for most of the time that I learned gaming was 9 years in St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, Mark and I have a lot in common. We shared a lot of the markets we worked, but we never worked together until now. So our paths actually crossed right here in the Tri-Cities area. And then I lived in Iowa. So if you live in, actually I worked in Iowa, lived in Nebraska. Anybody knows Nebraska? Omaha, yeah, Omaha. It's like people are so nice there, but the weather, no. So I'll take the weather tomorrow here. It's way better. Then I went to Pennsylvania just south of Pittsburgh, and that was the first time I had to run a racetrack. So that was interesting. I never knew anything about horses, and had an opportunity to learn that industry as well. And then Ohio, Maryland, and then 7 months after I moved to Maryland and bought a house on the water and thought, this is good, I made it. Hard Rock calls me and wants me to move here. And I'm like, no, right? I can't do this. My husband, how is he going to take this, right? I have to move again. So I took the job, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I took the job. But before I go there, I'll share with you that this whole 16 years in the gaming industry have been with 3 companies. All 3 of the companies I worked for acquired each other, so I never really resigned a job. I'm one of those loyal people that takes a job, you give me an opportunity, I stay with you. And it worked, right? They gave me opportunities, and I continued to grow my career. But then Hard Rock came, and I had to actually make a decision to come to the Tri-Cities and take this job, which wasn't a hard decision at all after I visited the site in December. So I came here in December and spent about 3 or 4 days here, and I loved it. So I took the job. But I didn't know how to resign. I haven't resigned for like 16 years. I didn't know how to tell my boss I was going to quit the job. So that was a really difficult decision, but it was the best decision I've ever made, and I'll tell you more about that. So a little bit more, and I put the map here. I figure I would tell you, because sometimes people don't know. So I moved to Florida, as you see, but Brazil is a very big country. So I come from the very south of Brazil, kind of border with Uruguay, Argentina, Paraguay. Quite far. It's about 3-4 flights to get home, a day and a half, plus the time zone difference. So my whole family still lives in Brazil. I have my husband here who is born in Massachusetts. As Dr. Davis said, his name is Fabio, and the last name Evangelista comes from an Italian family, so I'm married to an Italian. I'm from Brazil, and the rest is history, right? A little bit more than the video, we're gonna skip that for next time. And so I want to tell you a little bit about Hard Rock story without bothering you with all the history, but I wanted to share with you that, we started our company in 1971, way before I was born, by the way, let me say that, in London, Hyde Park. I had an opportunity to visit this Hard Rock cafe back then, but it was a restaurant, right? This is how most people know Hard Rock, as a restaurant. And I'm excited to share that we will actually have a Hard Rock cafe here in Bristol. So soon you know what that is all about as well. So the history goes, and again, I'm not going to tell you all the story, but back in 2007, the Seminole tribe purchased Hard Rock, and we became part of the tribe that operates 6 casinos in Florida, and then started expanding the casino world into the United States and some other areas. So currently we have casinos in Atlantic City, we have a casino in Cincinnati, Sacramento in California, we have a casino in northern Indiana, in Illinois, and then we have a temporary property in Rockford, Illinois, which is northern Indiana, Gary, in Indiana. Outside Illinois, outside Chicago. And then Rockford is a temporary property, similar to what we have going on here, and opening a full property later on in the casino as well. So this is going to be another property to our portfolio, and on top of that, we operate a lot of hotels and also a lot of cafes all over the world. So if any of you like to visit New York, we are now opening very soon a very beautiful hotel in New York, right in Manhattan area, luxury property. It's another destination you can go visit. That is not me, is it? That would be. I'm always afraid because my phone's always ringing. So things that you should know, so what we do, we're not just a gaming company, right? We're a hospitality company, entertainment company. We are very focused on the food that we serve in our restaurants, the product that we have in our hotels. The gaming floors are impeccable, and you're gonna get to see that soon. But also entertainment, we have a retail. Everything we do is top notch, first class, no doubt. Maybe? And the company has 4 mottos. So everything we talk about, anytime we brand our company, our properties, back of house, always focus on this, which is love all, serve all, right? We're very proud to be a very inclusive company. Always one, save the planet, and take time to be kind, which in my opinion is probably the best one, right? And it sounds pretty to take time to be kind. So we talk about this all the time. This is who we are. And then we have values, which every company does have values, but a big one for us is deliver amplified service. So we don't want people just to come in and spend money. We want people to come in and have a great experience, right? So a lot of our customers are loyal customers because they come in and they have great gaming, amazing food, they have beautiful hotels, they go to very nice concerts, and we are soon going to be able to provide that here for you. Because of all of this that we do and all of the business we operate, Hard Rock is actually very well known all over the world. As a matter of fact, 84% of the people know Hard Rock exists, which is a very high knowledge of a brand. It's right there when you see the Starbucks logo, right? Everybody knows what that looks like. And as a matter of fact, globally already, so Hard Rock the same way. It's also a leading employer, so this is the part where we take a lot of pride because we love to be the employer of choice. We love people to be treated well. We want people to have career growth, and we want to make sure that we provide that here in the Tri-Cities area. So I believe that being a leading employer in many different awards that we have received is really important to us. But more important than that, we get recognized in different things. I don't think it shows here. But we get recognized as a very successful and one of the main employers for women, specifically in the gaming industry. This is a big part of what we do. So I think when I first got here, a couple of you asked me, how come you're a woman in this industry? How did you get to do this, right? And it's not an unusual question. People ask me that all the time. I actually shared that prior to joining Hard Rock, I worked for a company that had 43 properties in the US. Out of the 43 properties, 3 of them had female general managers, and I was one of them. So the other 40 were all male, right? Last night, I went for dinner at the old farm. It was me and 9 guys. It was a lot of fun. So it's what I do. It doesn't bother me anymore. I'm used to it. You know, I started in slots, as you heard, and in the slot industry or the gaming industry, it's a lot of male dominance too. Once a year, there is an event in Las Vegas. It's called the G2E, which is a gaming show, and it's like thousands and thousands of people that go. And you walk in, and there's like an ocean of men. And then there's like 3 or 4 women, right? And slowly it's getting better. Over the last 15 years, you can see more and more women in the industry. So Hard Rock, I think, is leading that when it comes to leadership for women. Just wanted to share that with you. So what about Bristol, right? So we have a site here. I know you heard all about this. Probably know even more than Mark and I know about our site because you've been hearing about this for 2 years. One of the things that did entice me to take this job was the fact that the community voted casinos in the area, right? It's not always that happened, but not only voted yes for casino, very high percentage of people voted yes for casino. So that makes us feel like we're going to make a difference and people want us here. So that was very important. The other thing I would say is working for Hard Rock, when I told you about the transition, and Mark made a transition from a publicly traded company as well. We both worked for companies that have shareholders. We noticed right away, Hard Rock is a company that focuses on that experience, as I shared with you earlier, but we thought we did too. So what is the difference, right? Well, we are not publicly traded, so we really don't have to squeeze every cent of every dollar in order to provide value to our shareholders. We focus on the quality of the things that we do, and that was not just talk. That was what they told me during the interview, but then I traveled for 3 weeks, and Mark and I went to 4 different locations and experienced our food, and we saw our floors, and we talked to people, and everything cost more because we want to give people more, a better experience. So that to me was like music to my ears. I know I'm going to be very proud to offer you a great restaurant for you to eat, not only with great food, great value, but a clean experience. And our gaming floor is going to look beautiful. So all of those are the reasons why I wanted to come here, is you voting us in, you being so friendly when I came visit, the company being the company it is that cares about our guest experience. And then we have a beautiful project for us to open. So we've been very busy trying to open the Bristol Casino. And why is it the Bristol Casino? So as you can see, it's tagline with the future home of Hard Rock. And the reason for that is because we're going to open a temporary facility. We are going to have a facility that's not the full experience of Hard Rock. So we don't want to take away from that. Meanwhile, we're going to be building, and when we open the new facility or the permanent facility, which is on the other side of the mall, we're going to open a true Hard Rock experience. So we want you to see the difference and feel the difference. But Allie, is this a tent? What is it? What's a temporary facility? It's just like a place with a few slot machines. Well, it's really, really, really pretty and really nice. So we are under construction. As a matter of fact, don't come visit me. It's not nice right now. My office is the changing room of the Belk's Mail Session. If you ever been to that mall back when it was operating, that's where I have an office. Mark doesn't even have an office. He doesn't even get a changing room. So there is nothing there yet, but the construction is super ahead, and I would say ahead, meaning we're going to move into offices soon. As you know, we announced our opening on July 8th. That is a little later than we expected because primarily supply chain has been a little bit of a delay for construction, but it's going to look beautiful. We don't want a half-assed product. So I'm going to offer you about 900 slot machines, 21 table games. There will be a high-limit experience. You also have an option for a non-smoking gaming facility that will offer both slots and tables. And we'll have also a full-service restaurant, Mr. Lucky's. We'll have a grab-and-go with pizza and sandwich and things like that you can get a quick bite. A sports bar, some entertainment, and a sports book. So if you don't know this yet, if you live in Virginia or if you travel to Virginia, you can actually download the app and you can bet on sports today because we do have a Hard Rock digital app that you can play with right now. And when we open the casino, we'll have a sports book as well. What happens next? We will start a construction on the permanent facility. That is not something that's happening a year from now or 2 years from now. It's happening right now. As a matter of fact, I have meetings about the temporary facility and I have meetings about the permanent facility. Everything is happening at the same time. The actual construction of the permanent facilities will be at the old Sears side of the mall where the Sears used to be. And there will be a wall, and we'll be building that area while we are actually having fun and playing at the temporary facility. That will be your full experience, a much larger gaming floor. We'll also offer a hotel of 300 rooms at first, and then a second tower with another 350 rooms. Beautiful pool, spa, rooftop bar, all that kind of fun stuff. Steakhouse, the Hard Rock Cafe. We're planning also a food hall with multiple restaurants. There will be poker, there will be a VIP experience. We will have a non-smoking gaming opportunity there as well. And then most importantly, what makes it so special for us to be here is our Hard Rock Live venue, where we'll be able to do concerts and host a lot of different artists in the area. So that's coming on. When is Hard Rock Casino going to be open? Well, 2 years from now, we'll be operating that facility. But we'll have some fun at the temporary location now. Do you have any questions about this portion before I proceed? No.
You say non-smoking gaming area. That doesn't mean the rest of the areas are smoking, does it?
Yes, that's correct. The casino floor is smoking. So if you are on the gaming floor, it is a smoking facility in Virginia. So what we created is a non-smoking facility that has approximately 70 slot machines, and there will be 3 table games in the non-smoking area. And you will be able to access the non-smoking area without going on the gaming floor. If that is something that you would like, you'll be able to come from the restaurant area into the sports book, into the non-smoking facility without actually having to go to the smoking area. Yes?
You're going to have feijoada and churrascaria.
My friend speaks Portuguese, can you believe that? We met earlier, I'm like, I can't believe we're right here. So no feijoada or churrascaria, but I heard there is a restaurant in Johnson City that has Brazil food, so maybe we can go there together. That's great. Yes?
Will you be telling us later about the number of employees?
Oh, I can tell you that now. I just have a couple more slides that are not related to the project. That's why I think we could talk about the project. We are hiring 600 employees for the temporary facility. We have a little bit over 100 employees already with offers in their hands. We start a dealer training April 18, so in a little bit more than a week. We have another class starting in May, and so we're training locals to be dealers and deal on our table games when we open in July. We also have a hiring event, a big one, at the Delta Hotel, right across from the Marriott Courtyard, May 13 through May 17, where we're going to hire all the frontline positions, so all the food and beverage and attendants and cashiers. That big event will take place the week of May 13. When we open the permanent facility, we are scheduled to have anywhere between 1,200 to 2,000 employees. It depends on the time, whether we're having a concert or not, if we have 2 towers of hotels or just one. But it will be it's a little hard to hire right now. Anybody else experiencing that? Yes? We're still working on that, about 2,700. None in the temporary. So there is no live entertainment other than as part of the small stage for 2 or 3 people, right? Nothing that would be ticketed that you would pay and buy a ticket, none on the temporary. So we're building a real Hard Rock Live, which is not just a room with a stage. It's actually prepared to hold really nice events the way they are supposed to be. Good question.
Is the temporary 24 hours a day?
Yes. Yes. So I won't sleep anymore after July 8th. The phone will ring all the time. What else?
So how many acres do you have there? What's the
Oh. I know the Sears location where the permanent is going to be, it's about 100. I don't know the whole location for the mall, to be honest, because we haven't developed everything. So there's a big portion of the mall that there isn't development plan for yet. Because when we go into the permanent facility, we plan to, evaluate things and see what else we can bring to the location. So It's a large mall. It's a very large mall.
Two things. I was extremely impressed when we said the pledge, that you stood at attention, put your hand over your heart, and you're not American.
Yeah.
I want to thank you.
I am American. I was just not born here.
Well, I'm saying,
Thank you.
just as I said, that you're a good American.
I appreciate it.
And I got myself out of that. Is Nice Longer involved in any of this?
Is the Nice Wonder?
Yes.
No, our partners are United Company.
Right.
Yeah, but those are the only partners we have.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, and Clyde. Jim and Clyde, yeah, they are our partners.
Sure. Wait a minute, I got to get my information.
So you own the property, what's his involvement with it?
He's one of the owners, he's a partner. We operate, so he's partner investment in the business, basically.
What interest do you have in the business?
I need to make a lot of money so I can keep my job. I'm an employee of Hard Rock International, so we come and we operate the property. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about being a lawyer?
No.
Maybe
Should
after
I?
this.
Maybe after this. If it doesn't work out, I'll take that advice. Did you?
Good, I'll tell you.
So,
Behind that used to be the Bristol Memorial Hospital. Is your facility going to go back in that way? You probably don't know that.
I wouldn't know that, but I do know that what we have is the actual mall footprint and the parking lot of the mall footprint only. And then, of course, the hotels would be an expansion, right? They would be built from the parking lot area. But yeah, so nothing right now planned for after that I know of. Yes.
Is Hard Rock traded on the New York Exchange?
No, we're a private company. Yeah.
When you open up the permanent site, what happens to the temporary one? Are y'all going to keep that open?
Great company. No, we won't. We will move completely. As a matter of fact, a big portion of this project on temporary is actually transferable. So the money we are spending to open the temporary, a very large portion of it will go to the new location. What doesn't transfer is the carpet, the wallpaper, the tile, right? But all the slot machines will be brand new. What do we call the brain of the system, right? Everything is first class and everything gets transferred. Yes?
Do you need a lawyer?
Introduce me to somebody.
You don't need a lawyer, do you need a flat-hander?
I love it. Yes, Mayor.
Could you talk a little bit about security and maybe your coordination with local law enforcement and so forth?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, right now, our security director is meeting with some of the law enforcement for lunch and introducing her shift managers. She hired a couple of shift managers from the area already who already know these people, and she's actually from outside and moved in the area. So yes, we do have to work very well with local law enforcement, the fire department and all that, right? We do training with them. So we currently already have 24-hour security on property. We hired all locals from the community and they're operating with us. It's a very different environment than what is going to be when we're operating, because currently we're not necessarily regulated, the building is not regulated by the Virginia Lottery yet. We are, but not the building. Once we receive a license, which we're scheduled to present that in Richmond April 27th, so fingers crossed we'll get our license so we can actually operate. And what that would mean is then we have rules to follow. So security is a big part of what we do, not only to keep our guests and our team members safe, but also to make sure we are following all of the regulations that are required of us, whether it is how you bring chips to a table, or how you deposit the cash, or how who can enter the facility. You know, we are very heavily regulated. I think this leads to a very good topic. I'm not sure if you know this, but all of our employees, no matter what position, you have to be licensed with the lottery. And that license process, it's not that pleasant. It's like, depending on the position, you have to tell more, right? So if you are somebody that works maybe in the wardrobe room and doesn't deal with the customer or gaming tools, for instance, or portion of the gaming, you get a non-gaming license, but you still get to do all an investigation on your background. If you work in gaming, then you have a gaming license, and there are 15 positions like mine that would get a key license. And so all of this requires anywhere between 25 years to maybe 7 years of background check no felonies of any kind, and then you have to be in good terms with your taxes, your financials. You have to have good credit, and so on top of having to pass a background test, pass a drug test, you have to be licensed by the lottery to work with us. And that can take several weeks even for you to be able to start working there. So there's a lot of challenges on top of the employment world we are living now. Yes?
So that means when you're hiring these people, and do you complete the background check before you begin training?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, we do the drug test first, and then depending on the position, there is other things they have to do. And then we submit the Virginia Lottery application online. We pay for the license, but the team member, the candidate, has to fill out everything. And then there is a very long list of documents you have to provide, including photos of passports, birth certificate, driving records from everywhere you lived, things like that.
Do the employees work for tips?
The employees work for tips, yes, in some positions, in many positions. So team members in table games, they work for tips. Beverage servers, restaurant servers like you're used to, there's a lot of attendants work for tips. So they get a low minimum wage, and it's not really minimum wage, it's below minimum wage, just like a server would, and all of the income primarily comes from tips. As a matter of fact, fun fact, casino tips are called tokes. So dealers and attendants, they refer to their money that they get from you as tokes. We got X amount of tokes today. Non-supervisory. Yeah, non-supervisory. So nobody in leadership role gets tips. We're all salary in leadership.
Two questions. What's your long-term projected capital investment? And are you using local companies in order to build your facilities?
Yeah, so about $400 million is the investment that we're putting on this location. $300 million is the permanent facility, about $100 for the temporary facility, give and take. There is several local contractors, local companies that Burwell, you guys familiar? Yeah, some things I'm not, yeah. So most of them are all local, and they are also struggling to get some labor, you know, which makes things a little bit more delayed.
Is there anything you don't know?
Yes, I think there's a question here. It probably won't. No, I appreciate.
Do you want to be a comedian when we open up the?
He's gonna hire. Mark does all of the entertainment booking, so I think you guys should meet with him. Yeah, no, you would be surprised. I don't know a lot because, you know, I'm new to the company, right? I'm learning the Hard Rock way of doing things. I worked for a completely different type of company before. I know the business and I know enough about the project now to get by. My focus has been in hiring, right? I had to put my team together, which is almost everybody's already here. And then networking, things like this, because once we're open 24 hours, you know, we're really operating. So I'm an operator, that's what I do. You know, I run a casino, I build teams, and I'll make a lot of money to the owners, and I'll make a lot of money in taxes for this area. So you had a question somewhere there, I heard earlier, no? Okay.
Are there any concerns with regard to traffic getting in and out of the property? And are you working with the city to address any of those concerns?
Yes and yes. There are concerns. There are studies that are being done right now and that have been done, and a couple more things we're waiting on to decide. As a matter of fact, our first project had a lane going in the middle of the building where the big guitar is going to be outside, and that got eliminated because we didn't feel that was a good turning into the property. So there are a lot of work and it's not finalized yet. I do, thank you. The only thing I was going to share with you is a little bit of statistic when it comes to the gaming industry. A lot of places that don't have any gaming sometimes miss out on this. So this is published by the American Gaming Association every year, and they update this as we go along. I don't know if you know, but there's only 6 states in the United States that have no gaming. Everywhere else there is. So this is like tribal and publicly traded companies, private companies all together. $261 billion in economic impact for the country. It's just in taxes alone. Between tribal and non-tribal revenue is $41 billion, and there's almost 1,000 casinos in this country. So you throw a rock, you hit a casino, right? It's a big number and continues to grow. And then there's almost $2 million 2 million jobs generated just by this industry.
What owned by American Indian tribes?
Good question. I think it's a big percentage, and it is published. I just didn't pick that up. You wouldn't know, do you?
No.
But it's a lot because there's so many. Every time I talk to somebody in the gaming industry, they tell me about a casino that I never even heard of. I'll tell you that West Coast is primarily tribal, right? So a lot of casinos in the California area.
And later I'll tell you about one of the original ones 80 years ago in Cherokee, North Carolina. And they had a system where they never lost.
Yeah.
And it involved chickens.
Really?
I'll tell you that later.
This sounds like a conversation over a bottle of wine.
What I would say to that is Florida.
It's a true story.
Florida is where most of our revenue comes from and our profit for Hard Rock. So we have 6 casinos in Florida, Tampa, and on the East Coast, the Hollywood Casino in Hollywood, Florida, Hard Rock. So,
Oh,
So,
hold it. I can help.
yeah, so Florida is really big for Hard Rock. It's most of our, and now we're spreading out throughout the country.
Yes.
How does the revenue sharing work on the tribal basis? The people that live on the reservation, is that shared throughout the community, or?
Here's a question, I don't know the answer. The tribal properties, yes, so there's 2 divisions of our company. So there is the Seminole division in Florida for those 6 casinos, and then there's Hard Rock International. So we're not directly under the tribal, even though the tribal owns Hard Rock International. It's kind of like a sub-company. Is that how you would explain, Mark?
So
Yeah, so-
Hard Rock International is owned by the Seminole tribe. So let's call it like our board of directors would be the Seminole tribe of Florida. And then we would be a subsidiary of them because we're Hard Rock International, which is the one that operates outside of Florida. So essentially, all the money at the end of the day for Hard Rock International goes back to the tribe, the Seminole tribe of Florida, and all the Seminole, the Native Americans.
And it's the same for the hotels and cafes all over the world, right? So we don't operate all of them. As a matter of fact, we don't operate all of the casinos that are Hard Rock branded in the U.S. There are several casinos you probably have seen in Iowa or in, Louisiana, Mississippi area, but those are they are licensed or franchise, you would say. So we still get a fee for them, but we don't operate those. Yes.
Ma'am, I realize that you're a private for-profit business, but I'm kind of interested also in your policy on civic involvement. For instance, you join the Chamber of Commerce, you participate in United Way,
Yeah,
community-type activities.
that's awesome. That's great. So very, very much a private company, very much for profit. But the good news is we get very much involved with the community. So when I told you about coming here and how exciting this was, most of the properties I worked at, they have been in small towns, right? And the reason why I think that is special is because you see the impact that the casinos bring to the community. Whether it is because we are hiring people at a higher wage than most places, or maybe because there is other businesses that open as a result of the casino, or the tax benefit that come from the casino. So I saw that and I experienced that with my own eyes, which is part of one of the slides that I have. But so I knew this could be big here, right? Mark and I have been doing this for a long time now. As a matter of fact, our resumes are pretty decent. We can write a ticket and say we can work in Vegas and we can work in New Jersey. We can work we can choose where we go. We don't, we're at the point right now, this is what we want to do because we can bring that in. So there's not a policy, but there is an expectation. So we have a part of our company that's called the Culture Club. So once we open, we invite our team members and executives to create these clubs, and they bring ideas and they get familiar with where we should invest time and money when it comes back to giving back to the community. So, we've been meeting with people already, but I just got a call from United Way this week, for us to meet, because I know that's big in this area. I know we've been partnered with Girls Inc. So there is lots of things that people will give us a letter. We're raising funds and we'll put a basket together with a gift, a donation for a raffle. But there's a lot of times we'll write a big check. There's other times that it's not the money, it's the time commitment. I saw you have some volunteering events, right? Like we'll go build a house, a Habitat for Humanity, or the food bank. So this is something we do regardless. This is what we do in our industry, right? It allows us to do that. So we'll be doing a lot of that here in the area too. So I think the first step is get to know what is available. and then build these culture clubs, because it's more important than just writing a check, is build a culture where our team members are involved, because then you feel good, right? Love all, serve all, take kind to be kind, all these things are what we do as a company.
One more question. With that culture club, don't forget the Kiwanis in Bristol. But I have a question. Not that I have any, but what about Bitcoins? Do you folks get heavily involved with Bitcoins?
No, Bitcoins are not part of us yet, or we are not part of that yet, I don't know. So no.
I just, on the community question, real quick, I just wanted to say, just out of respect for Allie and for us, we're trying to get the casino, we've only been here about a month and a half, and we're trying to get the casino open and people hired. So we're absolutely going to get back to the community and get involved in things. So if it takes us a little time to get back,
We have to make money so that we can give money.
Because I know
Yeah.
people think, oh, well, they didn't respond, but we're trying our best. So
Yeah,
we
that's a great
appreciate
one.
your
Thank you.
respect.
No more.
He's too late. You've already had your comments, sorry.
This is serious.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
serious too, Jack, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.